Hello everybody, welcome to the grammar lesson for Chapter 3, Part 1. You guys are going to like the grammar lesson for Part 1, but probably not so much the grammar lesson for Part 2 of this chapter because that is going to be over Sarah and Estar, and students tend to not like that too much. But we're not there yet. We'll only worry about Part 1 so far. And the first thing that we are going to talk about in Chapter 3, Part 1 is possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives is just a fancy way of saying the words that we use to talk about what we own. My things, our things, your things, y'all's things, his things, her things, that sort of stuff. Okay? In Spanish, they're adjectives, which means they have to agree in gender sometimes, and in number with the thing that is being owned. That's the important part. That's the part that confuses students. Possessive adjectives are easy. The only thing that confuses people is they can't figure out when do I make it plural and when do I not? And people will try to make it plural if more than one person owns something. No, that's not it. It's plural because of the thing that's being owned, the number of things owned. So let's go through these. Me and mis is the word for my. Nuestro, masculine singular, ours. Nuestra, feminine singular, ours. Nuestros, masculine plural, ours. And nuestras, feminine plural, ours. So if I wanted to say our books, plural books, it would be nuestros libros, our books. If I wanted to say our book, singular, it would be nuestro libro. Okay? Tu and tus without accents is yours when you're talking to somebody that you know well, somebody you're familiar with. So, tus clases, your classes. Tu libro, your book. Vuestro, vuestra, vuestros, and vuestras is the y'all familiar. It's for vosotros, but since they only use that in Spain, I'm not going to put that on the test. So the only other possessive adjective that you need to know is su and sus. Su and sus means y'all's, his, hers, and theirs. So if you see su libro, then su libro could be y'all's book, could be his book, could be her book, or it could be their book. You don't know unless you have the context of the rest of the conversation. Sus libros could be y'all's book, books, it could be his books, it could be her books, and it could be their books. Again, you've just got to get that out of the context. Now, the other thing about talking about possession that messes with English speakers in Spanish is if you want to say something like Maria's book. In English, to indicate a specific name of a person who has the possession of something, we have the apostrophe S to indicate possession. They don't have the apostrophe S in Spanish. You cannot say Maria's libro. They're not going to have a clue what you mean. You have to say the book of Maria, el libro de Maria. Okay, so if I wanted to say the professor's class, la clase del profesor. Okay, so those are possessive adjectives. What other grammar do we have in the first part of Chapter 3? We have the tener idioms. Tengo calor. Tener calor means to be hot. Tengo calor means I am hot. Tener frío means to be cold. Tenemos frío means we are cold. Tener hambre means to be hungry. Tienes hambre means you are hungry. Tener sed means to be thirsty. Ella tiene sed means she is thirsty. Tener miedo means to be afraid. Usted tiene miedo means you, formal, are afraid. Tener sueño means to be sleepy. Él tiene sueño means he is sleepy. Ustedes tienen cuidado. Let's see, tener cuidado means to be careful. Ustedes tienen cuidado means y'all are careful. Tener prisa, to be in a hurry. Ellos tienen prisa, they are in a hurry. And tener razón, to be right. Tengo razón, I am right. Now, why are we using tener, which means to have, like this? We don't say in English, I have hot, I have cold, I have hunger. You would sound like an alien. Well, that's just how they do it in Spanish. There's no good reason why. That's why it's called an idiom. Idioms are things that don't necessarily make sense across languages. So for these expressions, you just have to remember you can't say use ser or a star with calor. You have to use tener. Just memorize it. There's no way I can explain it other than to say because it's Spanish. And then the last grammar topic for this part of the chapter is how to conjugate estar. Remember that estar and ser both mean to be. So how do we conjugate estar? It's not a regular verb. And you guys have seen that because you've seen the question, ¿Cómo estás? How are you? And you know the answer is estoy bien. So it is an irregular verb. You'll drop the AR, and for yo, it's estoy. Nosotros, estamos. Tú, estás. Vosotros, which I won't test, estáis. Usted, él, and ella, está. And ellos and ustedes están. Now, estoy isn't too weirdly irregular. That Y on the end shouldn't freak you out too much because you've seen that with soy. Nosotros is actually regular, right? You take off the AR and you add amos. That's normal. Estás, está, and están. The only thing that's weird about them is that they've got an accent over the A. That accent is important. You can't forget it. Estás, to estás means you are. Estas, without the accent, that means these. So that accent is important. Don't forget it. And then just as a review, I put ser down there too. How do you conjugate ser? Yo soy, nosotros somos, tú eres, usted, él, and ella es, and ellos and ustedes son. Now, both of these mean to be. The major grammar topic in this chapter is going to be when do you use estar and when do you use ser if they both mean to be. Remember, I told you to think about it this way. I'll give you a preview of coming attractions from next week's lesson. Estar is for temporary or abnormal things. So, yo estoy bien, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good right now, but if I walk out in the parking lot and see somebody scratch my car, I'm not going to be good. So my state of mind, the way I feel right now, is a temporary thing. Ser is used, generally speaking, for permanent or at least long-term things. Yo soy baja. Oh, I started out saying, when I wrote this activity, I started out saying alta, and then I was like, let's tell a truth for once. But then I forgot to change my my answer in there. So sorry. Yo soy baja, you guys already know, means I am short, not I am tall. So point is, I'm a short person. I'm 50 years old. I'm not growing anymore. The fact that I'm short is a long-term permanent thing. I've been short for 50 years. So, ser for that. We'll talk in more detail next time about the differences, specific differences between ser and estar. But if you just start getting into your head that estar is for temporary or abnormal things and ser is for long-term normal things, then you'll be a happy camper when we move on next week. That is all for the grammar lesson this time.